Hey guys, it's me again, coming at you with another video. Today I wanted to make a video about glass skin. I noticed that that's a huge trend. It's going on around, Asia, and it's starting to seep into the United States. And a lot of people are like, what is it? How do you get that skin? So I wanted to make a tutorial to show you exactly what to do to get that nice, you know, glossy, natural finish that makes your skin look like supernatural skin. So the first step is to use skincare. You're gonna decide what you want to use. I have normal to combination skin, so I like to use very, very hydrating products. I'm not super young, so my skin has a little bit of dryness on the surface, and I like to make sure that it's, plump and it doesn't feel sandpapery. So I usually will wash my face, then I'll go on with a hydrating toner. So the one that I'm using currently is LeBlanc by Chanel. So this one I like a lot because it has a little bit of a moisturizing feel to it, and you can apply it all over the skin. It will help any kind of oils or moisturizers to penetrate into the skin, and it also gives you a little bit of brightening for the day. If you take your skincare regimen super seriously and you're like, well, I want to have glass skin forever, then you might want to incorporate more skincare products, to kind of keep your skin up to shape. I like using LeBlanc, also from Chanel, because this will help with hyperpigmentation. It helps a little bit with the texture of the skin as well. But if you think about it, the less makeup you have to put on to achieve the look, the more supernatural it's going to look. So, if you take care of your skin and you apply just a little bit of makeup just to have the nice finishing, to add those nice finishing touches, then it will look pretty amazing long term. The moisturizer I like using for a glass skin finish preferably is a thicker moisturizer, so that way your makeup kind of sits on top of it and, kind of pushes out the makeup to look like an even, smooth layer on your face. So I'm using UB. It's from Japan, but they sell it in some retailers. It's not overly expensive, which I love, but it's a very, very thick consistency moisturizer. I'll put a little bit on the back of my hand so you can see what it looks like. And it gives you a little bit of a glow, but I think it is an oil-free moisturizer, so even if you have oily skin, you can still use it. Sometimes if you have normal combination skin, using things that have a lot of oil in it just makes the makeup slip off, so I opted for something that's like a thick cream based, that's glycerin based, so that way I have the hydration and I have the plumpiness of the skin without feeling like, the makeup's not going to stick. The reason I use these products is to make the skin quality better before I put the makeup on. So I'm trying to minimize the appearance of texture on the skin and trying to minimize the appearance of dryness on the skin. And I want to be able to put the makeup on without it looking like makeup and kind of staying as smooth as possible. If you think about the skin, it's like a sponge. So, if you just lay your products into the sponge, eventually the sponge is going to absorb it. But there is a level that you want to get to where the sponge is completely filled but not overflowed, so you can see like the products on top, and not underflowed so you can still see the texture of the sponge. So that's what I think of when I put the skincare on my face, and I'm trying to kind of make everything as smooth as possible. Okay, now we're gonna go for the makeup. So I'm gonna start with a full coverage foundation. I'm using an oil-free because I do get oily, so this kind of helps to inhibit the oils before they come out. And I'm using Laura Mercier's Flawless Fusion Foundation. I use two shades. As you guys know, I don't like using just one shade for foundation. I prefer using two so that way I can get the most natural finish possible and I avoid the ashiness. Alright, so I'm just going to start dotting it lightly where I need the coverage. And then whenever you're putting foundation on, you want to think of it as pigment, right? So pigment, anything that has color has a little bit of powder to it, so you don't want to be applying thick layers of pigment on your skin because it will make it look a little dry. So the less you can put on, the better. And for a glass skin effect, the thinner the makeup is, the better looking you will appear in real life. Okay, now that I have it all over my face, I'm just going to blend it with a sponge, and I'm just going to press the sponge pretty hard onto my skin. On the last video that I showed you guys with the Bobbi Brown foundation, I was talking about how hard I press it, the sponge with the foundation, and it's going to be no different for this look. And to reiterate, you do this so that you don't see the foundation as much. There you go. So you can see it's pretty natural looking. This is where it gets crazy. So the last video that I put out was on the holographic milk highlighter. You're not going to be using this the same way that I applied on that video. So instead you're going to put your foundation first, especially if you have normal to oily skin. This is the step you should be following. If you have dry skin, you can probably avoid putting a powder, but I like putting this before any powder and concealer. So I kind of look at where my skin naturally glows. Don't be jealous because my skin has a natural glow and I can see where I should put it. If you don't have that glow, that means you need more moisturizer and serum. So just keep applying it until you kind of see a shine on the skin. So I can see I have a glow here, here, I have a little bit on the nose, but I also have a little bit on the chin. So I'm gonna go ahead and just emphasize all of those by applying the highlighter to them. I'm going to do a little bit on top of the brows just to have it look a little bit more natural too, and then I'm just going to press it in with my ring finger. Alright, there you go, so you can see the magic starting to happen. So you can see when I move around, it really catches onto those areas, and that's about it. So usually for this look, I like to keep everything as monochromatic as possible. So to really emphasize the fact that the skin is made of glass and it's glowing and it's amazing, we're not going to put any contour or blush. We're just going to let the natural blush from the skin poke through. I have a couple of spots to cover, hyperpigmentation spots. I'm going to go ahead and put some concealer on top of them, and I like to do this before I powder. So I'm using Laura Mercier's Secret Camouflage mixed with a little bit of the Shiseido concealer stick because I want to get the right tone. A lot of people just use one product, but again, I am a makeup artist and I'm super anal. Not the way you guys are thinking. So I like to get the best, the most accurate color. So that way you don't know what's going on. So I'm just going to lightly apply it where I need it. And again, I do have a video on how to conceal, if you're wondering if I have any tips for you. So one thing that I wanted to talk about, there are people out there that when they remove the makeup, they have this amazing shine and they look like a balloon. And you're like, but how did they get that shine? There really isn't any way for you to get that shine. And when you get a lot of Botox, you get this extremely shiny look, which is not natural. It's just the skin being stretched out and it causes a little bit of reflection. So if you do have Botox, if you get it enough, you'll have a little bit of an advantage for this look because you'll be able to get the glass skin without a lot of product because your skin's already like that. But for those of us that want that extra hydration, extra luminosity, then we have to use the makeup to do it. Alright, and there you go. So this is what it looks like. And you can send her to the photographer. She's ready to go. The photos are going to come out amazing. If you're not doing a photo shoot, stay tuned. I'll show you how to make this look stay the whole day. Okay, so if you're not doing a photo shoot and you're like, but I want glass skin for a long time, you're going to put a little translucent powder. But you're not going to put it everywhere. You're just going to use it where you don't want the shine to come through. So this is especially useful for people that have oily skin. So you're going to put a little bit of the translucent close to the nasolabial folds, and you're just going to press it on. You're going to leave the cheekbones alone, so do not touch them because we'll be touching them with something else later. Definitely put it on the forehead because you don't want to look like you have a big big forehead, especially if you do have a big forehead, you don't want to accentuate the fact that your forehead is big because it'll make it a lot bigger. And then to set the glow so it stays all day and you have amazing glass skin all day, you're going to use your favorite highlighter. I'm going to use my Laura Mercier, highlighter in Indiscretion. You probably have too many highlighters if you're watching this video and you were interested in glass skin. I know it was a huge trend and a lot of people have at least 7 or 8. And I know you guys bought it, you kept buying highlighters before you were actually running out of your highlighter. I like using a very soft touch brush like this and then just press it on top of that wet highlighter. This sets it and it gives me more of that extra glow. Okay, so this is the final look. I'm going to go ahead and pose so you can see the reflection. And there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial and this was very comprehensive to everybody. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comment section down below. If you have any tips that you want to share, also put them down in the comment section down below. I like it when people share ideas because sometimes I take them and I can use them for myself and maybe in another video. And that's the fun part about having, a social video like this is that you guys are commenting and we're creating dialogue and we're finding, new techniques and new possibilities for beauty. So that is it. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, like the video. I'll see you guys in the next video and have fun.